Yep. Yep. I really did that. Merry Revenge of the 5th. Now, if you're a geek like me, you will know there's an ongoing joke every year of May the 4th be with you and Revenge of the 5th or 6th, depending what kind of person you are. And I thought it would be fun to celebrate this little geeky tradition with you today, and perhaps even convert you to this holiday if you've never heard of it before. Now, as a geek, I have of course done a load of Star Wars cosplays over the years, which of course comes in very handy when celebrating this day. So let me show you exactly what kind of thing I'm talking about with this first cosplay. Yes, that's right, your eyes were not deceiving you. It was indeed an Ewok cosplay. I just decided to go straight for the cuteness. And this cosplay turned out so well considering I made it in like 4 hours and patterned the skirt from like an old sarong I had laying around. Honestly, I am not the one to be looking at when you're wondering how to make costumes because I make them in very, very rogue ways. But on the other hand, if it works, and I would say it worked. I wrapped a PVC pipe with some pleather and made a foam little spear end and we got what we got. And of course I then went outside in this outfit because why wouldn't you? And I think it actually might be one of my most favourite Star Wars cosplays because it's so ridiculous, but also so ridiculously cute that you can't help but love it. Well, That's what I think anyway. But maybe you're sitting there thinking something else about it. I don't know. However, what I do know is we should check out the next cosplay because this one is slightly different pace. Yes, that's right. You just did witness a burlesque R2 costume because, again, this is me. I just don't know how to be normal. I actually hand rhinestone this costume myself over on Twitch when I used to stream, so some of you may or may not already recognize it, but I had so much fun piecing together this look. Making all the little robot details out of foam and then hand rhinestoning them really just scratched an itch in my brain. And you know I love shiny things here, and that also includes rhinestones. And to take this well-loved robot and turn it into a burlesque situation really did tick a lot of boxes for me because obviously it's pin-up and rhinestones and Star Wars, and I just put it in one big melting pot and this is what came out. This one overall probably is my favorite just for the overall aesthetic. It wasn't that well received online, believe it or not, and that kind of shocked me but also didn't. But it doesn't really matter because to me, I think out of them all, it's probably the most fun and playful and more true to me. I guess I could have pushed the aesthetic a bit more and did like white and blue hair and really committed, but I just had this vision of it being me but in a Star Wars burlesque outfit, and that's obviously where I went with it. But you could have pushed it more, like I could have pushed it more, and perhaps then maybe people would have invested in it more. I'm not sure. But for the idea in that moment in time for me, that is what I wanted it to look like and be like. But like I said, now maybe I could have pushed it more and did like a white wig with blue through it and maybe built on the bottom of the outfit a bit more. But you know, I can't change these things now, and I'm just happy with the overall look in general. These are just little things that perhaps I would change if I was to do it all again now, which I'm not going to. The moment's passed, and as a whole, I loved how it turned out. Let me know if you agree or if you think I should have done the things that I said. But from one R2 costume to another, I have something a bit more relaxed and not necessarily a cosplay, but I felt like it was worth mentioning because people really liked it when I shot this look. Yes, I know it was just a lycra or spandex leotard, but it was R2, so it counts, right? I know it's super simple, but this look did so well, and I think sometimes the simple things do better than the more complicated things, and it was just of its era at the time when I shot this. This style of clothing was super trendy, and it just worked. Some of you may even be sitting there thinking it's your favorite, and that's hilarious because I literally didn't make it, put no time into it. I just put it on and off I went, sort of thing. And this is where being a content creator is really a risk, because you could spend hours on a costume and it flops, or you can spend 2 seconds buying a costume, putting it on, and it does really, really well. There is no guarantee, no telling which way it's gonna go. You just have to take the risk and see how it turns out. I guess it's just part of the fun and the experience of doing it for a living. Sometimes you just need that R2-D2 leotard in amongst the rest of it to see how things are going and if you need to make more or buy more. Which leads us perfectly onto our next cosplay, where I both bought and made some stuff to combine together to create this next look. I know, you're probably thinking you're scraping the barrel a bit to be doing a Hannah solo look. But when I used to create free Patreon looks a month, I really did have to think out the box, and that's where Hannah Solo was born. I picked up that shirt you saw me wearing in the charity shop and the shorts and the waistcoat from eBay for under 20 quid. I chopped up some red lycra fabric I had laying around and stuck the stripes up the shorts to give it that striped pant look that he has. And then I got to work making a bow out of scraps I had laying around of brown pleather and a tiny skinny foam buckle for it, and just hot glue all the way. I am being so truthful when I said I am not the person to look at when it comes to crafting. I literally make costumes on a way of how can I make this super quickly when it looks good from 5 foot away and get away with it. That's the kind of cosplayer I am. But as a whole, I do think I get away with it. Maybe you'll run it back and see, oh yeah, I can see that that's just skinny foam and some pleather and it's not looking good. Or maybe you'll run it back and be like, actually, that's pretty genius that you got away with that. Either way, it is what it is, and that's how my Hannah Solo was born. Just thrifting, cheap eBay bits, and a bit of customization, and away we go. Talking about this cosplay potentially being obscure for you, I really don't think you're ready to see this final outfit I have for you today. Because this one, even for me, is like, wow, you did that? And I'm just going to play the video first and then we can discuss it after, okay? Yep. I really did that. Your eyes are not deceiving you. That is Jessie from Toy Story mashed up with Hut Slayer Leia. I don't know. Don't ask. Well, I do kind of know. And I know where this train of thought comes from. So let me explain, okay? Basically, in a galaxy far, far away. I'm just kidding, of course. But this was a huge trend back in the day within the cosplay community, and you kind of just had to be there. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It was a huge trend to take Disney princesses and combine them with the Hut Slayer Leia outfit to create a whole range of mashups. And I really do feel it was such an amazing creative time within the cosplay scene. If you're asking me, which you're probably not, it was fantastic to see everyone's creativity flourish with this idea. And back in the day when I first started cosplaying, I did a Snow White look. But sadly, I don't have any video footage of this look, and I also don't have the outfit anymore to make any videos in it. But fast forward quite a few years later and I decided, hey, why not give Jessie a go? I think because at the time I was being lazy and I didn't want to wear a wig. So I was like, hey, she's got red hair, let's just run it and see how it turns out. And for some people, it become one of their most favourite things I've ever done. For me, I kind of look at it and think, how did I get away with that? And did I get away with that? But as a whole, I do kind of think it's very readable, and I made those cactuses out of cardboard and I really wanted it to look very makeshift, almost like I'd been plopped into like a play scenario, because I'm meant to be Jessie after all. Being creative to this level and experimenting and redeveloping a well-loved character into something completely different has always been one of my favorite things about cosplaying. And I truly believe this is because There are so many incredible screen accurate cosplayers out there, and I knew that that just wasn't my vibe, that wasn't my bag, that wasn't my strong suit, whatever you want to call it. But what I did know is my brain is super creative and loves to explore and develop characters in a different way. So taking those well-loved characters that everyone knew and just putting my own candy spin on them really made my brain tick. Doing this Hut Slayer, Leia, Jessie mashup really just scratched that itch in my brain, and I don't know whether looking back on it, it worked or not, but because I just committed, I think, like I said, I really did get away with it and it become some people's favorite cosplay of mine. Obviously, there's also loads of Star Wars cosplays that I'm missing from this video because they were taken ages ago when I didn't really record anything. And if I tried to include them all, we probably would be here longer than trying to watch a Star Wars marathon. But here's a few more of my favorites before we wrap this video up, because I think they deserve to be seen, especially when talking about my own creative ideas when it comes to cosplay. First up, we have my human BB-8, which I absolutely loved how it turned out. I took that cute little robot and just made it human form, and it was a lot of fun at the time for me. The antenna and stuff is made from like a snapped paintbrush, and yeah, I really just got creative over the years because I never have had a big budget to cosplay from, so you know, you have to get experimental and just make do with what you've got. Now, obviously, I mentioned my Hut Slayer Snow White previously in this video, but here's some more photos of it here. And I had a lot of fun creating this because at the time, everyone had done these princess cosplay mashups like I was saying, but Snow White was always left out. And I feel like she had the most standout colorway, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something with it. So I did, and this is what I got. And lastly, I'm gonna give a shout out to my Sif Ariel cosplay. There is not a single stitch on this cosplay, like at all. It's all held together by hot glue and a dream, and somehow I managed to get away with it. If you want to check out more of my Star Wars cosplays, please feel free to follow me on Instagram because I posted a lot more of them. And let me know what your favorite one is down below. I'm super curious. Maybe it's not even in here, like I said, because there's only been a handful of my Star Wars looks featured here today. Either way, I hope that you've learned some fun facts about my Star Wars costumes today and how I literally just make it up as I go along. I guess that's kind of what makes life fun and exciting, right? And on that note, all that's really left to say is thank you so much for watching this video. Take care, and I of course will see you in the next one soon. Oh, you're still here? Let me know in the comments what Star Wars cosplay you would like to see me do in future.